Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Kalica and you might be a little spooked after watching this video. The switch, the broccoli, and the battery. I got a call on Monday while I was driving home that the MDF at one of our locations smelled like an electrical fire. I had a tech in the area go check it out and he reported that the MDF stunk bad and that the main switch in the MDF was hot to the touch. I told him to unplug it and I'd replace it in the morning. I got in an hour early on Tuesday, overtime, with one of my building techs, dropped the config on a replacement switch in my main building, drove it over and replaced the switch. I left the old one hung in the rack because poor cable management would have made it very difficult. I figured I'd pop in on a weekend, more overtime, pull some patch cables and get it out then. I could barely smell anything that smelled like an electrical short, but every once in a while I'd catch a slight bit. I chalked that up to the powered off bad switch giving up the ghost. Wednesday, I got a call from the building that it started smelling bad in there again. My building tech cut his lunch short, and when he got there he could smell something odd, but they chalked it up to someone heating up broccoli in the adjacent room's microwave. It wasn't overwhelming, but it was definitely something. He checked it again before he left for the day and it smelled clear. Thursday morning, I get the call again. The smell was back. I grabbed some more tools, plan on pulling the old switch even if it meant bringing some endpoints down for a few minutes, and we'll see why this powered off switch might still be producing an odour. I was able to cut a few zip ties, sigh, and I was able to wrestle the old switch without bringing anyone down. Yeah. The switch didn't smell at all. I stick my nose all over the place in that closet and I can't smell anything like an electrical fire or broccoli or anything. I felt all of the switches and they were all slightly warm, about as warm as you'd expect a switch to be, and nothing. It was a real head scratcher, and then I smelled it, but couldn't tell where it might be coming from. It wasn't the switches. I started putting my nose up to every piece of equipment in the place, and I found it. One of the external battery packs in our battery backup that had an unmistakable odour. It was second in line of a daisy chain set of 4, so I bypassed the battery, again without bringing anything down, and pulled the pack out of the rack, and it was hot. We finally found the culprit. We took the battery pack out back and opened it up, and 4 of the 9 batteries were extremely swollen. The head unit of the backup charges the external batteries on a schedule, and it was only when it was charging that the batteries would produce the smell. That's why I was never able to smell it. Now I have to check the batteries on a few dozen of these units and get replacements. This was not budgeted for this year. Sure, but maybe think of all the overtime. Our daughter is friends with a ghost, and it wants her to kill our newborn. Hello, TalesFromTechSupport, first time posting. In honour of Halloween coming up, I thought I'd share the scariest tech support story I have. It's 100% true, and it's my favourite story to tell my end users around this time of year. I still get chills thinking about it. The background. It's early in my career and I've started working at a help desk. One of my friends is a nanny for a couple and she invites me to get coffee because she has a scary story and doesn't know who else to tell. Names have been changed, aside from Rupert. Me is me. Lisa, nanny and friend. M, mother of the children she cares for. D, oldest daughter, 4 years old. NS, newborn son. After getting our coffee, we sit down. So, what's the story you have for me? You sounded pretty shaken up. Well, yesterday I was taking care of oldest daughter and newborn son, and daughter went down for a nap. When I walked by her room to check on her, she was singing, "Blood, blood from the baby. It's okay, he wanted to play. Blood, blood from our mommy. That's okay, she died today." Me with wide eyes. What the f... I know! So I sat down and asked her where she learned the song, and she said she learned it from her imaginary friend Rupert. She said he also talks to her sometimes and they sing together, mostly at night. That's insane. I know. So I asked the mother about it, and she says that daughter has been saying that for a while, and that Rupert had been apparently trying to get her up in the middle of the night, go to newborn son's room, and get him out of the crib to be in her room. Ugh. How long has this been going on? Ever since they brought the baby home. There's no way she could have learned that unless someone told her. Her parents don't watch anything that would trigger that, and she's very well sheltered. Me after leaning back and thinking for a while. Wait. Oh, crap. What? When they brought him home, did they buy new baby monitors? Yes, that was it. We called the family and had them check it out. The monitors didn't record, but they could move and also have audio output. They waited until night, then stood outside the daughter's door until they heard a man talk over the monitors and start singing to her. Immediately they unplugged them and called the police, but there was nothing that they could do to trace the guy. I walked them through 2-step authentication on Nest units after that, and Rupert hasn't come back. Frickin' sickos, man. Happy Halloween, everyone. Keep your end users safe. Ugh, this story gives me such a bad case of the heebie-jeebies. The thought that there are people out there who can plug into your baby monitors and talk to your children. I also know there's a whole section of the dark web who hack into people's webcams and just watch them live. So here's a fair warning. If you have a webcam, you might want to put something over it just in case. I have a key, but I've forgotten which door it goes to. As previously mentioned before, senior tech support for the fruit-based company. Customer calls in saying that his sister has a phone with iCloud lock. The phone shows the first letter of the email address and the bit after the @ symbol related to the iCloud account as a hint. He called us yesterday and we sent him an email to change the password for his sister's account after identity verification. Today he calls in because he's managed to change the password but has forgotten what account it's related to. Note, if they don't know the full email address, we can tell them what it is if we can find it and we pass the account verification, which is what I assume happened here. Me will be me, C will be customer. So, you're saying you've changed the password but can't remember the account it's related to? When you changed it, it says on the page when you create the new password? I know, but I've forgotten. Well, doesn't your sister know? She's the owner of it. She is, but she's forgotten what it was too. While this is happening, I try to find any information, but I find nothing. I can't find a case number, their emails return no results, their phone numbers linked to accounts they own but not the one we want. I have no idea how the other account was found. Check the password reset email we sent, is it not there? No, it has the dots covering it too. Did we send any case number? Do you remember the name of the person you spoke to? You didn't, and I can't remember who I spoke to, it was a man. I'm getting desperate. I put them on hold and ask our chat if anyone has spoken to them, but nothing. It's as if that call never existed, but all the details he tells me adds up. It's not some sort of prank call. At this point, I've run out of options. Sir, you and your sister have a good long think about what you did earlier today and try to remember the email address. Or else you're gonna have to send us proof of purchase to remove that account. But my sister has all her photos on that account. I know, but it's like you're calling the fire department because you have the keys to your house, but you've forgotten which building it is. I get it. I'll call you back later. Thanks for the help. He hasn't called back yet, but I'm not very hopeful they'll remember what the account was. I love that analogy, it's very fitting. Cases like that would bug me though. Like, did they ever get resolved? Why was there no case number? Is there any way to trace the previous recorded call and find out what's happened? That's what I would be doing. Ma'am, please check your SIM card. Click. Not sure if this should go here or Tales from Retail, but this story is taken back in the iPhone 5 days. For some reason, SIM cards have always been an enigma for some customers. This lady calls my store and complains that she's having issues with her phone not getting signal. She's quite agitated, and understandably so if she's not getting the service she paid for. So I run a few basic troubleshooting steps to start figuring out the issue. I ask her to restart her phone and all that good jazz, and check her account to make sure everything is fine there and she's not actually past due. Actually common to people who haven't paid their bill for 2 or 3 months get cut and then complain they aren't getting service. Like, what? Her account is fine, so I ask her to go into field test to give me an accurate signal strength. Everything is fine, and then she says something about her SIM card having storage issues or something along those lines. Customers tend to call SD cards SIMs and vice versa, while SIMs only hold your account information now and aren't used for storage. I inform her as she has an iPhone that there's no removable storage and that the SIM is only there for accessing the network. She then got another call and we got disconnected. She calls back 5 minutes or so later from the phone saying it's working but that something about her SIM is popping up on the screen and she doesn't think she has one. I tell her if she's using the phone there has to be a SIM in the device. She asks where it is and I tell her it's in the SIM tray on the side. I hear her shuffling her phone and, "Oh yeah, I see it." Click. She removed it while on the phone with me, which disconnected our call, and in the process, she dropped the SIM and couldn't find it. Just when it all gets good, she then has to come to my store to get a replacement SIM and ask to speak to my manager. I inform her that I'm the owner and I ask what the issue is. She says it's my fault that she was without a phone because apparently I remotely stole her SIM or something. I can't remember what the exact insanity she was trying to pull was, but basically I come to a replacement SIM, but that wasn't good enough for her. She finally got that that's all I could do for her, being it was beyond my as well as Red V's control, and no one else anywhere would be giving her compensation, and left. Never saw her again, but that was quite an interesting day. Luckily she didn't go full Karen, but she was about a 55% on the Karen scale. I love the idea of having a fully fledged Karen skill. Like, while I'm looking for these stories, if there was some sort of 100% Karen category, I'd be all over that. Okay, so that's all for r/TalesFromTechSupport. I really hope you did enjoy it. As always, if you do want to see more content like this, then please do subscribe. My Twitter, Discord, and Patreon links are in the description, and any support is greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!